We've seen what Jaden Wally can do. We've seen what some of these young guys can do. Just curious, who's kind of stood out to you maybe this spring? Mekhi Polk or somebody like that has come in? I mean, what names have kind of jumped off the page maybe at you this spring?
Well, it's been a good group. Wally's certainly a really talented guy. Malik Heath's gotten better. Mekhi Polk does some good things. But overall, as a group, it's been fun to coach. It's been fun to have a spring and just the opportunity to go out there and kind of make some mistakes and come back and correct them and meet and practice and meet. So it's been good. We've had a good spring. The weather's been great, and a lot of guys have gotten better. So looking forward to this weekend and seeing what these guys can do.
Steve?
Coach, obviously you guys had to do a crash course in the air raid last year with those, kind of an abbreviated camp. What's the retention been like so far? I mean, how the guys kind of carried over their knowledge from last year?
Good. Obviously, a lot better than having missed all spring and all summer last year. Yeah, that was a challenge. It was, and it was for everybody. But anyone that was a new staff that didn't have a chance to get around their players at all and just start playing in the SEC is always hard. So, no, we're not real complicated on offense. So, coming from the fall to the spring for the guys that were here last year has been really good. But just the nuances of the game, you just got to practice and run and get open and catch and run and just do it over and over. So, spring's been good for us. We've gotten a lot of good reps in. We've been healthy. So, it's been good. It's been good for a lot of players out there.
Robbie?
Coach, expounding on that a little bit, I mean, in the fall last year, you kind of had to have that crash course a little bit and just kind of throw everything in there. This spring, has it just been about kind of retaining that a little bit, or what's been the focus for some of these guys, a lot of which got a chance to experience last season and go through all that?
Yeah, it's so different because when you're there in the fall, it gets really hard to criticize people when they make mistakes. So you kind of have to it's a fine line between coaching the best you can and making sure you're complimenting them when you can to get them ready for Saturday. So the spring gives you an opportunity to really kind of criticize guys when they're wrong, really kind of coach them when they're wrong. Watch tape, you're wrong. It allows you the opportunity to do that. You got to play harder. You got to play faster. You got to get to this depth. So spring has been great for that. The fall was you got to find the things that whoever's out there can do well and try to let them do it. Let's focus on these plays that they can do well, and let's stay away from things that we really haven't had the opportunity to really coach and teach. So to get in the spring, get through all this, keep running the same plays over and over has really helped our guys a lot. So we're looking forward to again, summer and really getting into next year.
You talked about having the spring, how big that was. For the receivers, too, how big has it been to have Will Rogers back? And, they got a chance to get through a lot of the season with him. And also Jack Abraham, too, who's
He's got a lot of experience
for a long time. How big has that been?
Jack's been a good, sharp, mature, a lot of experience asset for us on the field. But can't say enough about Will. I mean, you think about last year when we got here, who's our quarterback? We don't know. We just signed KJ Costello. When's he going to get here? We don't know. Spring canceled, summer canceled. Who's our quarterback? We don't know. So to be able to get through winter conditioning, even everything we did in January and February, just having a team and having a QB that recognizes and the team recognizes as our quarterback, as our leader of our offense, and a guy that wants to get out there all the time and throw balls every day. And, that's meant a lot. So our offense, again, when Will takes the field, the 10 guys that go with him are better when he's out there. So it's been a really good offseason having him here, and it's such a huge difference from last year for so many reasons.
John?
Kind of going off what Robbie asked there, but from your vantage point, how would you kind of assess what the relationship has been like with the receivers and Will?
Obviously, it's gotten a ton better. But again, it means so much that Will is recognized as our quarterback. So I mean, we're gonna listen to that guy again. Last year when we got here, and it's kind of complicated. Nobody knew who the quarterback was, and the quarterback didn't know who the quarterback was. So to have Will stand up, and he's a good leader, and he's loud, and he speaks, and he's clear, and he's demanding. So the communication has been great with all the players, knowing who he is, knowing he's our quarterback. But again, every snap we take when he's out there, you get a feel for him. He gets a feel for how the receivers play, what kind of plays they make, what kind of areas of the fields they kind of move into. We work on a scramble drill a lot, and again, that relationship between QBs and receivers on just the area of the field and where the ball is going and where it needs to be and how plays need to be executed. The fact that we've had the opportunity to really, really practice that a lot has really meant a lot to us. It's been great.
Steve?
Coach, last year, the one thing the receivers spoke about a lot in fall camp was all the running, how they had to kind of get used to the way you guys practice because there's just no wasted time in practice. How have they kind of handled that this year, and do they seem to be in a lot better shape and kind of handling that a little bit better?
Yeah, and it really wasn't a true lack of conditioning. It's just you're always running. I don't have an individual period. I have a pre-practice period where I do some ball drills, and then the rest of the day, everything we do is with the quarterbacks running routes. So we don't have a little 5-yard period where we do some cone drill and the next guy goes and we stand around. We run the whole time. Makai Poku came in. He goes, I'm not used to doing pass scale for an hour every day. I mean, every single thing we do, we're running routes, we're throwing and catching all day long everywhere. So it grows on you. It takes a little bit of getting used to. But one thing I really admire about Coach Leach now, this is exactly what we do. This is exactly how we're going to do it. Our practices have been very, very consistent every single day. Today was kind of a light day before we go into the spring game, but every full padded practice we've had has had an about identical consistency to what we do and how we run. So people know what we're doing. Nobody gets surprised. We're running a lot today. We're running more today than we ran yesterday. We're going to run a lot every day, and if you're going to play receiver in this offense, you better be excited about that.
Robbie?
Coach, one of the things we haven't talked about missing the spring last year is y'all didn't get a chance to experience Super Bulldog weekend. And I know it's going to be a little bit different because you're preparing for the spring game and all that, but I know as coaches, y'all are active over there at Duty Noble and y'all been over there a lot. How excited are y'all to get a chance to experience what's almost like a SEC football weekend?
That'll be nice. I'm hoping it can be similar. Now, there's still a few restrictions. It's not the exact 70,000 people that just hang out in the parking lot all weekend. But yeah, no, we've heard a lot about it. We've seen a lot on Twitter. We've retweeted a lot. But between baseball, us versus Ole Miss and this spring game, it should be a fun weekend. But yeah, we're excited to see the cowbells come out and hear a bunch of noise. And it's funny because as we talk about going into the spring game and like even some of our special teams unit, we've talked about let's make sure throughout the game we put a punt team out there and we make a returner go out there in front of a crowd and catch the ball. And they have not done that in 2 years. So it's going to be a different environment, and we're fired up for it. So, yeah, welcome to the SEC, and we're definitely advertising. This is a special event, and the people, we got a bunch of recruits coming in town, and people that have the opportunity to come here and experience this weekend means a lot to so many people, so many Mississippi State people.
Finish up with Joel.
Kind of along those same lines of getting back to normal a little bit. The NCAA apparently, going to get recruiting back to normal here June 1. And just curious, was there a big sigh of relief? Was there a celebration? How much easier, how much better is that for you guys and for obviously anybody considered Mississippi State or anywhere else to finally be able to get back to a sense of normalcy on the recruiting side? Yeah,
it's a little bit, but we still miss May. And May is such a big time for us to be able to go into high schools. And fortunately, when I got here, I had the opportunity to spend a couple weeks where I got on the road. And then we had 4 or 5 coaches that got hired, and none of them actually got on the road. So I actually got into the state and got to see some people and got to meet some coaches. I got to experience that a little bit. Some of our coaches haven't been anywhere. And I'm curious, I would like to see if somebody can do the study on this. How many players did we sign this year we've never met? Never met, never been in their high school, never met their coach, never seen the guy. So I hope they look as good as they look on camera. I think they will. But for a brand new staff to get here who's not been in a lot of these areas, recruiting was extremely unique last year. So we will miss May. I still miss the opportunity to go into a high school, meet a coach, talk to him about what this kid does, ask about his academics, be able to go in there and see the guy, watch him practice. We're going to miss that. So June and July is nice. We're going to have the opportunity to have some camps, get some people here, see some people, see some families. But it's still limited to that for the 15-day for the camps. But we'll get plenty of unofficial visits. And, anytime you're in the South, in the SEC, especially in Mississippi, Mississippi. We're going to have a ton of people here all summer, and we're looking forward to that. And I'm kind of looking forward to what is our presentation. I've never seen our on-campus presentation. Here we go. Here's this facility. Here's our on-campus tour for unofficial visits. So I'm looking forward to that. And a lot of people that we've spoken to that are going to find their way to Starkville. We're looking forward to having them here.